name is Kaylee Gray, and I did my artist research on Deborah Butterfield. So a little bit about her. She was trying to choose between art and veterinary medicine. She ultimately went with art and focused on sculpting horses. She went to school for her BA and MFA. Butterfield now lives in Montana with her husband John Buck on a ranch where they keep horses. Butterfield is also active in competitive dressage, which is the practice of training horses in precise movements and maneuvers. In 1973, Butterfield created her first sculpture of a horse using plaster over a steel frame. By the mid-1970s, she turned to natural materials such as mud, sticks, tree parts, and straw. In 1981, she went to Israel and used found industrial materials like scraps of metal, tires, and barbed wire. By the mid-1980s, Butterfield began creating wooden armatures and having them cast in bronze to make her work last longer. This piece is called the Mauna Kana. It's Hawaiian for Montana. She found this very fitting because the pieces that are used in here are from the mainland of Hawaii. And in this video, she talks about her process of making the horse and how it started out as a blank canvas. And there's a lot of adding, there's a lot of subtracting, and as she gets through, it gets more emotional. And then when she puts on the neck and the head, it becomes more personified. And I really enjoyed listening to her talk about her piece, and I suggest that if you have time to look up this video. So this is another piece of her work. It's the Jerusalem horse. So in the 1980s, Butterfield went to Israel to make art from steel and other materials from junkyards there. The Israel Museum had an exhibition of the horses that Butterfield made while in Israel. These are different because she used materials like scraps of metal, tires, and barbed wire. Before this, she'd only used natural materials. And so this was probably a little bit of a jump from from natural materials to something man-made. This sculpture is Riot. It is made from steel. In it spells out the word riot, and you can see the shape of the R on the body of the horse, and it makes the viewer engage with the piece more because you want to try and find all the letters that spells out riot. And I think she is really successful in using something such as metal that is not necessarily graceful, but making it graceful in the sense of it becoming a horse and having it have the mannerisms in the shape of a horse. This piece is called The Three Sorrows. The horse and the stuff around it is debris from the tsunami that happened in Japan. There are people in Alaska that were cleaning up after it, and she got the materials from them, and she decided to make this sculpture. And it's really cool because she talked about how the objects around it, she didn't really want to change that all that much because each object went through this experience, and so each object has their own story to tell. And I feel like you can see that when you look at these objects on the ground. You can tell that they've been through some hardship, and you can tell that they have something that they want to say to us and to everyone. And I think that also reflects in the horse, because she also talks about the blue tarp and how it is kind of a little bit ruined, and how the horse and the ocean and the earth are they're one-on-one with each other, and that this is a reflection of what we are doing to the earth. And I really like that message, and I think that since these are actual objects from what had happened, it really executes the message well, I think.